Alright, so I wanted to sort of talk about the direction that humanity is in today and the future. One of the things I wanted to talk about is how humanity is being a lot more oppressed. That's the word, oppression. There's a lot more oppression today, and there's a lot more persecution today than ever before. Okay, so that's all I really wanted to say about that. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the economy. Of course, as everyone knows, the economy is up and down, a very cyclical nature right now. But in general, a lot of people have lost a lot of money. Now, the third thing I wanted to talk about is, I call it the recognizer, or it's called the RFID chip, or it's called technology. It's basically, we're in a world today that is far more technologically advanced than ever before in the history of humanity. Except for ancient times, maybe back in the days of the Sumerians, or even Atlantis, or even in old Egypt. So right now, we are at the most apex of technological advance. This technological advancement isn't being used to free humanity, but it is being used to enslave humanity. So you could always use technology for two different purposes. You can either use it for A, freeing the human soul, or B, enslaving the human soul. And definitely what I am feeling and seeing out there is that technology has been used to enslave the human soul. Anyways, I wanted to expand on that just a little tiny bit. The first thing I wanted to say is that there can be a much worse scenario coming about. And human beings are not quite aware of it yet. It might be something similar to the riots in China, or the riots in some of the other Eastern European countries. If people can remember back to Tiananmen Square, there was a large demonstration of people who were protesting unjust and unfair laws. Now, the thing that I see is that there are probably at least 1,000 unjust and unfair laws out there, but they're not being very well protested. But if they were protested, I'm sure that the military would come in and declare martial law. I'm sure that the military would step down on the people like ants. But I haven't seen that yet. Okay, so I wanted to kind of get away from that section. There's a lot of things going on in the future that should worry a lot of people. And these things I'm sure people are not aware of consciously, or I'm sure that most people don't think about it all the time, but I'm sure that they feel it. Let's see here. I think that everyone has a rebel inside of them, and that's trying to get out. Everyone's trying to play the nice card, the nice and doing well card. It's like when you walk down the street and you say, "How are you doing?" Usually they wear the "I am doing fine" hat, or the "I am doing fine" mask, or the "I am doing fine" card, which is basically everybody likes to at least appear normal. They like to at least appear semi-okay. I think there's a problem with society, for sure. I think there's a problem with both sides, or all sides of society. Of course, you've got poor people, you've got rich people, you've got middle class people, you've got wealthy people, you've got powerful people, you've got homeless people, you've got working people, you've got oppressive people, a whole section of oppression, the judicial system, the legislative system, the police, the security, the army, the military, and you have the criminals on the other side of that. And I think that they're both one and the same. All you have to do is open a newspaper and you realize that both sides are playing the same game. You most of the time can't really tell them apart even. I think the people that are getting squeezed, however, are the middle class. I think the middle class are getting squeezed the most. I think they are getting it up the ass. I think the middle class are definitely getting FUBAR. And that's not really a big deal, I guess, but for a middle class citizen, they've got two ways to go. They either go up or they go down. And most of them are scurrying to get up, to get ahead in life. A lot of them ended up going down. And that is a very difficult place for most middle class people to be going down. Now, a lot of rich people have ended up going down in this past few months, but not as bad as the middle class. So anyways, that's my sort of structured spiel on what I sort of think about the economy and what I think about the situation. Now the future looks very controlled. That's how it looks. The future looks very, very controlled. It looks controlled in a way that people are not going to be able to squirm out of the holes that they've dug for themselves. In the past, human beings have had certain rights. And these certain rights were something that people were born with, and something that could not be easily oppressed. But now that I'm seeing oppression is at a maximum. Oppression is at a maximum. So in the future, once everyone gets to be in a system, they will inevitably end up in a hole so deep that they will not be able to climb out of. And that is the warning, is not to fall into that big giant abyss, that big black hole. And if they act now, they can probably avoid it. But it's all up to human free will. It's what human beings decide inevitably to either all go into the big black abyss like the lemmings that they are, or to go around it.